It's another day, which means it's time for another Baldur's Gate console mod drop, and this time there is a plethora of subclasses and classes for us to look at. So let's jump right on in, and we begin with the Astral Domain Cleric subclass. Now this comes from Glint, who is obviously very familiar to these videos, makes a lot of subclass mods and they're all awesome. This one is a really cool Cleric based Astral Domain. So, if we check out some abilities here, you can see it's all about that force damage, swapping places, a bit of potent spell casting. So if you want a sort of like a little bit of divination wizard with a little bit of like the mystic blade, or not mystic blade, sorry, the mystic, that sort of vibe, then check this one out. It might be what you need to spice your cleric up a little bit. Axian K's cute couple poses is brought to us by Axiana, and this basically just adds 25 different sort of coupley poses for the photo mode. So if you want to take some awesome photos in Baldur's Gate with whoever you are romancing, then this might be the one for you. Nick Gemma brings a mod that I think should have been in the base game to us, and this is Be My Valentine. And essentially what this means is when Orin kidnaps one of your companions in Act 3, they can now kidnap your romanced companion, meaning that they're no longer immune to it. So it does add some urgency to rescuing whoever you have romanced. I think this should have been in the base game, so there we go. Incognito Burrito brings 2 book of subclasses. First one is the book of sorcery. So as you can see here, we gain a bunch of sorcery spell subclasses, if I can get my words out. The Aberrant Mind, the Clockwork Soul, the Divine Soul, and the Lunar Sorcery. Now, I have done some build guides for some of these. I've done it for the Aberrant Mind and the Lunar Sorcery, so I will be doing the Clockwork Soul and the Divine Soul to come. But essentially this is 4 rather different subclasses that might just add a little bit of flavour to your playthrough. And we also get this for the Wizard subclass. Now, the ones being added here are the War Magic and the Order of Scribes. Again, really awesome subclasses. I've done build guides for these, and these are just so much fun. The Order of War, the War Magic being really fun. Order of Scribes has a lot of awesome sort of abilities within it, but I do think the War Magic one is a lot of fun for anyone that just wants to basically decimate the battlefield. Hyperspace Tau brings the camp event Overhaul, and essentially this allows you to get those camp events. Because some of them can be missed, because there are multiple of them, you get to experience them. It's pretty cool. Wailing Bard brings us the Commoner class based on Laser Llama's Commoner, and again this adds 4 subclasses. You get the Farmer, the Innkeeper, the Labourer, and the Town Guard. Now essentially this is a whole new class. I will be doing build guides for every single subclass, because as you can see they do look a little bit different. We've got a bulky Labourer, we have the charming Innkeeper, and we've got sort of like a pseudo summoner, I guess, just to give you a very base description. It's a lot deeper than that, but essentially you can just summon livestock as a farmer. So like I said, we will be going over all of these, and yeah, it should be a lot of fun. A Radicaled Ward 12, if I get the words up right, brings us Dark Urge, the True Origin Immersion, and again, this is kind of what it says on the tin. It kind of just brings more immersion to the Dark Urge Origin. For example, waking up covered in blood and bandages, as you can see in the photos. Really awesome like aesthetic appeal to it. So if you want to just spice up your origin a little bit, check this one out. Cyberfunk brings Darker Cazador's Place, and you've probably seen a few of these mods before that just darken up the areas. You can really see the difference between them. I think this one is amazing. I love these darker mods, especially for these sort of areas, because I think it just adds so much immersion to the game. So if you like the look of this, go and check it out. Nick Gemma is back on the list, adding the Feline Fiendish Cambion Eye Replacer. And again, this just replaces the eyes on the Cambion. Nice little flavour to it. I think this looks actually really cool. It's very subtle, but I think it does just add so much to it. Nexus Gabe Camoresco, probably butchered it again, but brings us Gabe's Fun Pack, and this essentially puts a bunch of mods into one pack. So as you can see here, for example, you get Gabe's Bag of Holding, Critical Mockery, we went over this in the last mod video, Enemy Loot Randomizer, the BG3 Mystic Forge, Treasure Goblins, Gabe's Mod, Gabe's Dragonborn, the Bone Sculptor, Gabe's Pets, the Restless Dead, Explosives, the Plague. Any summon can be a vendor, Dwarf Tossing, Gabe's Darts and Daggers, Feet Barbaric Brawler, Underpants Gnomes, Death Penalties, It Follows, and Arachnophobia. So if you want to push yourself beyond the 100 mod limit for some reason, and you have some of these downloaded, it might be worth just switching over to this to have a one and done. Jurinsky brings Human Head 8, the BT4 version. So this is basically Human Head 8, but for body type 4, as you can see. And I actually really like this head. I think it's very versatile, as you can see here. It's the same face shape, but it's all slightly tweaked in different ways to look different. I think it's awesome. So if you really like this preset, go and check it out. Sinus23 brings Lae'zel Kiss dialogue, and this essentially just adds in Lae'zel's dialogue line after your second kiss, just so she has some sort of response. Okay, now we've been over these before. When it came to D&D, there was two versions of the player handbook for 5e. There's the original, which BG3 is based on, and then there's one that came out last year, which updated a bunch of stuff and changed some rules. So, Third Blow brings us the Monk 2024 player handbook. Now, this mod will add the Warrior of Mercy, and the Warrior of the Shadows, Warrior of the Elements, and Warrior of the Overhand subclasses to the game. It also changes how the Monk works to match the 2024 player handbook. So, this is the kind of thing it's probably worth going over fully to really understand if you want it. For example, you get things like Hand of Healing, all sorts of things. You get Uncanny Metabolism, there's a lot in this that it will change up how the monk functions. It's still easy to understand, but there is a lot. So this is probably the type of thing where if you like playing a monk, it's probably worth playing around with and seeing what version of the handbook you prefer. Havsglint returns with the Penance Domain Cleric subclass, and this is a high risk, high reward as the description says. Essentially, you deal more power the lower your health points are. Lots of radiant damage. We've also got some abjuration and enchantment spells, but overall this is a phenomenal domain subclass and I cannot wait to build guide for it. And sticking with Havsglint, we now have the Pyromancer Sorcerer subclass, and you can probably guess what this is about. It's all about fire, and yeah, this is another one I cannot wait to get into because you get to mess around with ignite stacks, using them to deal damage. Yeah, this one's a lot of fun. So look forward to this build guide in the coming days. And finally, Chisfreak brings us Unholy Smite, which is a necrotic version of Divine Smite that your Oathbreaker can use. Again, I think this fits the theme so damn well. And that is all the latest new mods for Baldur's Gate. You can see I've got a nice little flame shield going from the Pyromancer subclass. But if you've enjoyed this video, please drop the episode a like, helps me tremendously, and check out the mods, they are all phenomenal. If you're not already, please subscribe to the channel as well, it helps me tremendously. And hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.